everyone, Jim Branscombe here for the Cinematic Void vlog. It's been a while since I've done one of these and figured, it's the holiday season and maybe you're looking to get a gift for that cinephile, cult film fanatic in your life and, looking for some book recommendations. I decided to do a follow-up to my Cult Films Essential Books video that I did, earlier this year. So this is part 2 of that, and these are some books that I got at various stages of my life. These books are all going to be kind of themed because they have lists and little descriptions, Basically, it's just kind of it's a film. They're mostly film guides, but some of them also have some critical analysis writing. So I want to start off with, these are kind of together, so I'm going to mention together, which is the Official Splatter Movie Guide, Part 1 and Part 2. Now, these were books I got maybe in high school, and they were kind of good guidebooks because, I would just kind of go through and, as you'll see a little green thing there, I would go through and highlight the movies I see, and then I just basically use as a guide to check out movies. Now, as much as this is called the Splatter Movie Guides, they kind of cover just general horror movies, so it wasn't just all insane gore stuff. I mean, go to part 2 here, I think it's just one of the movies mentioned here is Alice Sweet Alice, which is a phenomenal movie, but it's not necessarily a bloody gore feast or anything. But if you're got a young cinephile that's getting into horror and they just kind of want books to be a checklist, these two, highly recommend it. I think you can get them pretty cheap, new or used on wherever you want to get books. Another book, which kind of is going to come in handy now, I need to figure out where I'm putting this shit at, is Asian Cult Cinema. Now, this was a book I got, later in high school kind of thing. And since Hong Kong cinema is kind of on the comeback, you're now seeing 4K releases of Category 3 Hong Kong stuff, and Criterion's put out Heroic Trio and the Jackie Chan stuff. This is kind of a good book, and this was another great guide because it would just tell you movies and give you a little synopsis and wow, that sounds cool as shit, and you would go search stuff out. This was kind of my guide. When I got into Hong Kong stuff, there was John Woo, there's Jackie Chan, and there's all the martial arts stuff, but this kind of led me down to a little bit deeper. It helped me find Ringo Lam and Sammo Hung and things like that. So, and it's got a cool quote from Oliver Stone who says, "This is the Bible. Here are hundreds of reviews from the world's most exuberant cinema." And you should trust Oliver Stone. And I agree with him. This is a really cool book, and if you're looking for Hong Kong action, Hong Kong horror, Category 3, and maybe even some drama and stuff, this is a great book. When I had this book, there was a company called Tai Sing that put out a lot of Hong Kong stuff on tape and then eventually DVD. So it was kind of good to access it. There was also bootlegs and stuff like that. But it seems like now this stuff's coming out on Blu-ray. So if you want a good guidebook to kind of see what you need to be searching out, pick this bad boy up. Now, this next book is a bit newer. Well, it's about 10 years old now, but this is, I think, one of the greatest books on film and personal writing and that kind of stuff, which is Kier-La Janisse's House of Psychotic Women. This is a little bit of an older edition. This is actually my second copy, but I had one when it originally came out that disappeared. I probably loaned it to someone. They stole it, fucking bastards. But if you don't know about this book, this is highly recommended. It's Kier-La, looking at female psychosis in horror films. She does some personal writing, talks about her life in conjunction with these films, and it also has lists and reviews of tons of movies that you should check out. This is one of the most essential film books that you should have in your library. Now, this is another newer one. This one came out a few years ago, but this is edited by Mike McFadden. It's Teen Movie Hell. This is basically 80s teen sex comedies and those kind of movies, and it's really cool because as a film programmer, I feel like the 80s sex comedy kind of gets ignored, and mostly because there's not really an audience for it. But I feel like it's starting to come back because I've done stuff like Last American Virgin, I've done Secret Admirer and stuff like that, and I've ended up getting an audience. So it's slowly getting there, but this is a great book. There's different pieces on different movies and stuff like that, as well as, reviews. So it has a way for you to check out, horny 80s movies. And last but certainly not least, this book hopefully doesn't throw my back out picking up, which is Nightmare USA by Stephen Thrower. This is one of the great film books. It's about regional horror in America. This is volume 1. At some point, Stephen Thrower is going to do volume 2, but this thing is, one, it's heavy as fuck all, but it's just great. It's just Stephen Thrower is one of the great film writers. He's written about Jess Franco. He's got a great book on Lucio Fulci. But, if you want to learn more about kind of independent horror movies and exploitation movies being made in the United States, like by people that sometimes only made one film and then disappeared, highly recommend it. Plus, you can get your reps in. Yeah, but that wraps up this episode of the Cinematic Void Vlog. Tell me some of your film book essentials that you keep in your collection, or if you like these recommendations. I'm probably going to do another one of these around January Giallo time when I talk about some of my Giallo cult film essential books. But until next time, see you in the void. And now I need to put this book down.